Welcome back here with Goldberg. Today we'll be discussing the alt-right to soy pipeline. And I've alluded to this in the past a bit. We're not going to rehash Jack Hunter, Katie McHugh. You see this trend, however, when it comes to influencers. I think it's worth mentioning, at least in a brief sense. So back in 2009, this is before the YouTube of today, clearly, but at CPAC, there was this kid, Jonathan Crone, and he's up there going,
So, how precisely do we define conservatism? What does it mean? What does it mean to be conservative?
he's like probably still in his diapers, and then you find out he's putting this self-published book for sale. The mom is a theater teacher. You say, yeah, this is probably just resume padding for college, which lo and behold, he gets into university. Suddenly he's a liberal. You could say, all right, just a kid, he had to grow up. The Republicans shouldn't have platformed him. But you know how the GOP happens to be, oh, we are the party of the next generation, the cool kids. What can you do? Another more recent example would be Hunter Abalone. So 2015, 2016, he's the whiz kid attacking the libtards and promoting Donaldo Trumpy. He's got this popularity, he's got the following. Well, what happens? Trump loses re-election or it's stolen, depending on your opinion. You have the hoedown throwdown. So not only are the winds changing, the GOP will not hold the levers of power, but there are folks, activists, who are going to be locked up for what they were engaged in. And so for many of these people, it becomes a question of self-preservation. It's not like they underwent a genuine change. It's more attuned to, how do I keep my fiat flowing? Well, I've got to have content that is non-threatening to the new regime. So I'll be like a libertarian centrist. That was what Jack Hunter did. Oh, I'm just a libertarian writer. I'm not a racist anymore, that kind of thing. In the case of Avalone, it didn't save him because his wife still took him to the cleaners, humiliated him. It's like we say in the old language, he who cucks one man, cucks the world eternal, Ashakam. More broadly, you have this new crop of bread tubers or bread tuber adjacents. Most of them are white or Asian. They've got the identical, sarcastic, condescending tone. Oh my God. Oh, the right wingers are the real snowflakes. I was wrapped up. I was scared. I was afraid. I was young. I was terrified. That's why I got into this movement, but now I've been able to reject it, and I'm a good soy liberal. I used to be homophobic, but now myself and my life partner have embraced the plastic. And you go, all right, if you were working during the pandemic and your boss was twiddling his mustache and his top hat and beating your ass every day, stealing your wages, your commissions, okay, I get it. You've become a militant communist. But that's not what these folks are doing. They're embracing the most mundane form of center leftism, of whatever, sock dem philosophy. And you have to wonder if they weren't a lot deeper and more off the end than they want to admit. These sorts of videos where they talk, oh, I escaped and I'm back on the plantation of being a progressive, you have to wonder if it's not just preempting. So if someone finds old tweets or videos, blog posts, they can say, see, I've already undergone that transformation. Don't threaten my fiat. Now, I'm going to be honest, there's a lot of wackadoodles in the right wing. I'm not a big fan of them. But you have to ask, how many of these emerging breadtubers 2.0 do they believe in anything they're saying? Or is it simply, how do I move to the next placement where I can live a relatively comfortable life? I won't be cap in hand. In all honesty, you could say that when it came to the pincushion, a lot of conservatives were following a similar thought process, but we are talking about the ex-conservative liberals at this point. Let's just be fair. And you have to ask, what is the point of adopting these social dem policy positions if you're not willing to sacrifice for any of them? Like, credit to the Trump supporters, they might be a little bit crazy, but they love the guy. Some have given their lives, their freedom for what he represents. None of these bread tuber types have any motivation to fall on their own sword, lead the charge, because it's all trying to play within a relatively limited set of barriers. You see it in Canada, it's so cringe. I mean, even the conservatives, you have the leadership debate and charades going, all right, Mr. Poilievre, You don't seem to want to get pinned down on the question of being pro-choice. What's that about? Well, it's really interesting, Charade, because when you were in the Mulrooney government, you voted to defund abortion. How's that for attacking a woman's right to choose? This is Canada. And then the left wing is even more cringe. Canada has had universal Medicare for what, decades? I think it was spearheaded by Tommy Douglas in Saskatchewan. So, what's next? The new transfer payment or bureaucratic approach? Oh, well, we need government funded dental care. And that's when you got your fine professorial advisor. He waltzes into the debate and goes, "Have you ever thought of maybe brushing your teeth?" No, 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 Michaela, I said use a toothbrush, not a Romanian. It's just cringe. How else do you describe it? These people believe in nothing except, do they have the regular paycheck? That's all that matters. Ultimately, that is the chief problem of the Western world, above Care Bears or blacks or immigration. It's these good egg whites who are always prepared to do what is necessary to maintain the little plot they have. You've seen the boomers doing this. Compared to their parents who are trying to hold back the tide, the boomers have just rolled over. This is why I can't stand Tim Walz people. You know, he's the conservative Democrat and then increasingly Mr. Progressive. I'm not crying, you guys are. This mentality, I love the diversity, I accept everything, I'm not a threat to your brave new world. And they're not going to, at the end of the day, give you a free pass because of who you are, what you look like. But for the longest time, you might just be able to age out and become earth food, worm digestive product by pursuing this method. In the process, you have to give up any sense of self-respect and belief, but it might just give you a decent career. It might ensure that you never want, you're never hungry, you get to do your vacations, you get to be on your social media spouting about these issues. So perhaps the trade-off is reasonable. Let me know what you think about the bread tubers or the why I left the right community.